got very excited when we saw the Speak Up grants. It kind of arrived at just the right time for us. So we were getting increasingly worried about people's experiences of healthcare locally. By people, I mean asylum seekers and refugees. The government's hostile environment policy was starting to have an impact. The Speak Up grants, we were really pleased that Healthwatch wanted to hear about the experience of asylum seekers and refugees, because they're a very vulnerable group of people potentially here in the city. And we jumped at the chance to have a bit of funding to help us to put on some events so that we could hear what people were telling us about their experiences of the NHS generally, and also about mental health. We wanted to hear about mental health services in particular and wellbeing services, so quite a broad remit. The money was fantastic because it enabled us to host the events, to put on some food with a local group, Open Kitchen, who get together with asylum seekers weekly to cook for people around the Broom Hall area. And they're a great group to support, but having food at an event always helps people to come along and relax and get chatting. So that was part of what we used the money for. And the other bit was we wanted to make sure that everybody could speak, not just people whose first language was English. And so we funded some community interpreters.
What he did, it sort of like allowed people to come through the doors with an open mind of having a free cup of tea or coffee, but then filling a questionnaire in about a service that they wanted to complain about or they had a voice or opinion about. And I think without having that facility to do that, I really don't think we'd have got anywhere near the sort of feedback that we've got.
It seemed pretty straightforward. I mean, as any charity gets used to making grant applications, I suppose. So it was a pretty straightforward form compared with many. The other good thing was that you and your colleagues were at the end of the phone, so we could ring up and ask for advice and ask for sort of, are we on the right lines here? It felt like a pretty straightforward process.
I have got to admit, it must have been the easiest process ever, because it was so straightforward. It was simple, 1, 2, 3, ABC, put your proposal forward for what you want to do and what you want to achieve. If we like it, accept it, you've got your grant. And that is basically as easy as that were. The grant that you gave us and we've used, it'll make such a difference because we've now got an inclination into what we've got to do so that we can help Healthwatch itself recommend or interact with these services. The Speak Up grant was a really clever idea in that it was a good way of getting focus groups within different communities and within different areas to give feedback. And what it did for us is it allowed us to rent space, have buildings, invite people in, give them refreshments as a reward for turning up. But it gave us an opportunity to talk to the people that really mattered within the communities.
I think one of the big surprises for us at the event was how much people joined in and how ready they were to share their feelings. People were very keen to tell us. So it was like we feel like we've opened up a channel of communication potentially, and what we want to know is how we can work with Healthwatch to make sure people's views and voices are heard strongly throughout the health system locally, and I'm looking forward to working on that.